Hi, welcome to Elementary Music with Donna. I am Donna Rhodenizer. I have a Fluffy Flakes of Snow song for you today, which is, not surprisingly, called Fluffy Flakes of Snow. And this is a great song for students in grades 2 and 3, ages 8 and 9, but it's also possible to use this with older students in upper elementary grades and up to age 12 in a private vocal studio. And we will talk about the reasons why that is so after I sing a bit of Fluffy Flakes of Snow for you. Fluffy flakes of snow are falling. I can hear my friends all calling. Come enjoy this snow without delay. We don't mind the snowy weather, just as long as we're together. What a way to while a winter day away. Catching snowflakes on our tongues, there's lots of snow for everyone, so let's enjoy this snowy winter day. Now I wanted a second verse for this song, but I didn't want to add a lot of lyric load for my young singers. So with great deviousness, I have just changed one line to create a second verse. So instead of hearing my friends call me and say, come enjoy the snow without delay, in the second verse, I hear my friends all calling, are you gonna stay in bed all day? And that's the only change that you have. And now you have a 2-verse song. I would sing this song with my grade 2s and 3s and teach it to them by rote. They will hear it. They will really have a good grasp of that swing feel. And this will not be a difficult thing for them to sing. However, if you want to use it with older students, you can put the score in front of them, and there are lots and lots of music elements to unpack when you're looking at the score. There are first and second endings and repeat signs, so you'll want to go through the score and see where those go. You will find at the beginning of the song the instruction swing the eighths. When you're looking at the score, those eighth notes will look like they're just even eighth notes. However, you're going to lengthen the first eighth note in each group and shorten the second eighth note in each group to give that melody that swing. That is going to look different than it sounds, but again, once they've heard it, that's not a difficult feeling to include as part of the melody. There are accidentals in this melody, so the note D sharp does not normally happen in the key of C, but that's the sound I wanted, so I've added an accidental which affects the D in that bar, but once you leave that bar, that accidental no longer is in effect. However, the next D that shows up is close by, and so there will be a natural sign next to that D, which you will have to talk about a little bit because, well, why do you need a natural sign there? The D is already part of the key as a D natural. It's a courtesy to the singer who's following the score to remind them that the accidental's gone and now you're back to the regular version of the D that is part of the key of C. Those are fun discussions to have. It's sort of like, how does this work? All of the accidentals are D sharp, so you can find all of those. There are 7 of them, and you should, if I have the music written correctly, find 7 natural signs reverting that back to the D that's normally in the key of C. At the end of the song, there is a rit that leads into a short tag. Now, I didn't want the rit to be in effect and slow down from where it appears to the very end because it gets plotty. But what I did is I included a new metronome marking after the bar where the rit shows up so that the rit takes you to that new speed and then it is slower from there to the end. There is a tricky spot in that tag. I wanted a note to last for 4 beats, but I didn't have an extra 2 beats in my 4/4 time signature, so I added a bar of 2/4. Again, this will look more complicated to someone looking at the score than it will feel when you're singing it. It feels very natural. It acts sort of like a fermata would, but I wanted to be sure that it was a full extra 2 beats and not just that sort of, do I add 1 beat or do I add 1/2 or whatever. So it's written that way so that there's no question that I do want that note to be held for that long. Now, there isn't any place to breathe between that note and the next one. I've written it as full 4 beats with no rest, but there is a breath mark there, and so you will want to talk to your students about the fact that that breath mark means you are to take a breath in that spot, just sneak one in there, but it's to keep that note as long as possible for as long as possible. The phrases of this song begin with a rest in the majority of the body of this song. So when you get to that part of the song, with younger singers, you might want to put something in that rest at the beginning to establish that space. So I would suggest going da 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 da, and then that leaves that space because you've clapped. You can also stamp your foot in that spot. Again, putting that kind of physical cue into your body helps with the children as they're singing it. You can also add a scarf if you want a silent cue, so you can have fluffy flakes of snow are falling, I can hear my friends all calling. And that's a nice transition if you want to start by doing the clap or the stamp, move to a scarf, and then leave it out completely. And that should establish that syncopated landing on beat 2 of every phrase with pretty good accuracy, I would think. All of these things are written in teaching tips that are included as part of the download, which you will find at donnaandandy.com. In addition to those teaching tips, you will find a vocal score, printed lyrics, full score, and accompaniment tracks with and without the melody guide played. So there are lots of teaching supports for you as you work on fluffy flakes of snow with your students. Wherever you are making music with your students in an elementary music classroom, a choir, vocal studio, or homeschool setting, I hope you have a great day making music and make music a great part of your day.